Can you hear me? Okay. Wow, I really feel like a pop star or something like this. So, okay, today we are talking about what I call the individual touch. It's so good to see you all here, in a large number actually. And I just want to tell you something, a little bit of the company I work for. Here you can see the company. It's the Dentaurum. It's seated in Isbringen in Germany. That's in the north of the Black Forest. We have around 600 people working there, and it's actually the world's oldest dental company. We are celebrating next year our 140th birthday. The oldest still existing company. It was founded 1886 by Arnold Bieber, and it's still in a family ruled in, I don't know, I think the 5th generation or something. So we are producing, or we have a big portfolio actually in the field of orthodontics, implantology, prosthetics, and of course ceramics. So just slow. Okay. So just to let you know what we have in the field of ceramics, we have the veneering ceramics, we have lithium disilicate, we offer the zirconia, then of course our micro-layering ceramic we're talking about today, and the youngest baby is actually a little add-on software for cutback. So these 3 techniques we all know. You know that the build-up or stratification technique, where you actually build up your veneering ceramic completely on your framework. Then we have the cutback technique, where you individualize only in the incisal area. And we have a staining technique where you actually only use stains. You don't use a veneering ceramic at all. More than 10 years ago, we actually noticed that the trend was going more and more to the staining technique, because the lithium disilicates and also the zirconia material were getting better and better concerning translucency and also shading. So we decided to develop a material that's much more than staining. We wanted to have a material which is sealing and glazing, which does shade corrections, where you can also create effects. We wanted to have the material to put on fluorescence, because zirconia is normally not fluorescent at all. And that's also very important. We wanted to have a material where you actually also could make morphological changes, improvements. So that's how we created the CeraMotion One Touch. CeraMotion One Touch exists of 2D and 3D pastes. They are actually developed especially for the monolithic field, and they are ready to use, the pastes, but of course you can also adjust them with some liquids. So very important for us was the CTE. The CTE must fit the framework. If the CTE is too high, it's not a match. If it's too low, it's not a match. And especially for the 3D pastes, the CTE must fit to the zirconia as well as to the lithium disilicate. Now, let's have a look at our paste glaze. So the paste glaze was actually, or is actually, the mother of the whole system. So on the left-hand side, you see a surface right after sintering, And on the right-hand side, you see the optimized glazed surface. So you can achieve this in only one bake, a very thin layer. What's the benefit of this? So your structures will be kept, and of course, the translucency of your monolithic crown will also be kept. Another benefit is that we actually increased the fluorescence in these materials. Zirconia is not fluorescent at all, so we have to add on zirconia to the surface. Zirconia is also a very, very high tension on the surface. But this paste glaze, or the glazes, they have a very good wettability on zirconia. We actually provide two glazes. One is the Cerammotion paste glaze in the first set, the one-touch set, and the other one is that one in the no limits. The paste glaze bright in the no limit set has a slightly higher turbidity than the other one. So we actually recommend the bright for the bright colors and also for the bleach colors. So you can see all the three sets. So the Cerammotion One Touch was the first one, and the Cerammotion No Limits was actually, we completed it. It's a logical complementarity. It's actually the completement of the first set. So everything we were missing in the first set, we put in the No Limit set. And of course, we also have a pink set for the gingiva aesthetics. So let's have a look at the 2D pastes. We have like three groups. That's the 2D modifiers, or I actually call them effect pastes. We have incisals, and we also have body pastes. So here you see 4 body pastes. With the body paste, you adjust the shade. You can get them in the 4 Vita shade groups, A, B, C, D. In the No Limit set, we have 4 other body shades. We have the L and orange, and the R and R+. Maybe it reminds you on the 3D Master shade guide. That's also the sense of those pastes. So the R and the R+, those are pastes to shift into the reddish, and the L and the orange to shift into the yellowish, if it's needed, of course. So those are what I call effect pastes. You have the honey, the white, the gray, the blue, and the violet. Those colors you all know from the staining technique. And last but not least, we have the 2 incisals. If you have like monochrome zirconia, you need something to get an incisal effect. But with those pastes, you can also create very, very nice, bright effects on the ridges, whatever. I'll show you later on. So this is now very, very important. It's not a staining material. Those 2D pastes, that's a glaze material, so that's colored glaze material, not a pigment staining. You can actually also combine those 2D pastes with our powder staining material. So you can mix it in, and you can use the powders and stain into the 2Ds. It's all possible. So it's compatible. So the next one is the 3D material. For the 3D material, we have the incisals, we have opalescent material, dentines, and we also have gingival material. You must get used to the handling, but once you've done like 3 or 4 crowns, you know exactly what to do. So the handling is easy and fast. We have a very good dimensional stability, even after a couple of firings. We have a stability in shade and fluorescence, and translucency. Can you see here the one? You see the opal material, which is standing like, like you put it on the crown. So we can, with this material, we can create a depth effect in very, very thin layers. That's why we call that all micro layering, because we always work with very, very thin layers. And we have a perfect bond between the material and your framework. So, next one, those are the 3D dentines. They are in the second set, because we thought, that sometimes you also need to improve your morphology in the dentin area. So for those cases, we have 4 different dentines, one for the bleach, one for the bright colors, one for the medium colors, and one for the dark colors. So, here you can see now the incisals. There are actually 4 incisals, again for the bleach, for the light colors, medium colors, dark colors, and also in a normal ceramic veneering set, we would call it, we have a modifier, incisal modifiers. You can apply pure, you can mix in, well, as you actually used it from your veneering technique. So for the gingiva, we don't have 2Ds, we only have 3Ds. There are 4 different colors, 1 to 4. We have a gingival modifier, which is a bit more opaque to cover sometimes some things. And we have a transbar and a white. And you can mix everything with everything. You can mix the 2D with a 2D, you can mix the 2D with a 3D, you can mix the powder stains with the 2Ds and the 3Ds, so you are totally free to create even your own colors. These pastes, the gingiva pastes, they're actually the only material in the whole system that is not fluorescent. All of the others are fluorescent. The 2Ds and the 3Ds except of the gingiva material. So this little bridge, I will show you here how to apply, just that you see what the material looks like, how you use it. And I'll do it today like in the cooking show, So I've got something ready. So because the firing would take too long, it would be 2 firings, each 15 minutes, so the time is not enough. But you are welcome to see us at the booth, just to check the material, maybe also to sit there and try the material. And we fire there, we have a furnace there, so you can check there. Here you see all of them in one picture. On the left side, the 3D, you see the material is like it's a very stable thing. And the 3Ds, it is dental ceramic. It is veneering ceramic in a paste carrier, actually. And if you fire it, after the firing, you can treat it like a ceramic. You can polish it, you can grind it, you can refire it like you are used to. So, as I told you before, the 3D and the 2D can be mixed among each other. the 2D among each other. You can combine them with the zero motion stains. So if you want to have, for example, an olive green incisal, you can create your olive green incisal. That's not a problem. So concerning the firing, we have a range in temperature from 715 to 755. That depends on your furnace. That also depends on the glaze you want to reach. But that's the range. We normally say, okay, try the first try at 730 in the middle, and then you see what's going on. If you have to increase maybe 10 degrees or decrease 10 degrees. So that's what we recommend for the first firing. So that was the presentation. I hope it was not too long. And now I will get ready to show you how to apply the material. Okay. So, you see the framework? You see it? I can't see if you see it. Is it okay? Okay. So we start with the paste glaze. You see, you always steer, but not with a, please not with a metal spatula. Use an acrylic one or maybe a glass one. So, put on here the glaze paste. So next one, that's the body A. So that's the body shade. Then we take something orange, maybe for a small effect. A little bit of blue.
You can show more. This is the camera, so you can put it more. Okay, let's see.
Okay. Now that's the problem. I don't see what you see. Okay. So, and oh, I forgot one. I actually forgot one. Very important. Here we are. That's the E2, the incisal 2. I put here. So at this bridge, I also want to do some corrections with the dentin. And I want to put on a first layer of gingiva. So So I use the dentin. That's the 3D now. You see it's a different consistency. It's more like a marzipan thing. I'll put it here. And we take some of the 3D gingiva, like here, the modifier. And the gingiva 3. Oops. So I told you that we can adjust the paste with liquids. We have two liquids. The one is called diluting liquid, and as you maybe see, you see here the color, this, it's the same color as the 2Ds, so that shows you where you actually use it. That's the diluting liquid, and the refreshing liquid, which has a much higher viscosity. You see, it's the same color as the 3Ds. So I normally put the refreshing directly to the 3Ds and the diluting directly to the 2Ds. So the first step, that's what I do, and I can recommend you take a little bit of the refreshing, very little, and just moisten the surface. Not wet, just moisten. Because of the higher viscosity, everything you put on now will stay there better than if you don't moisten it or if you use the diluting. You see it? Okay. So, next step. We cover everything with a glaze material. So please don't dilute the material too much, because what happens is that you have too much liquid and too little of the glaze material itself. So it goes into the furnace, the liquid evaporates, the glaze material melts, but then you have a spot here, a spot there, a spot there, and they can't melt together. So it should still be like this, you know. You must have, if you put in your paintbrush, it must just stay a bit like this. Okay. So we moisten everything. We cover everything. Okay. So now we can proceed. If we want to change or to improve our shade, we take the shade group we're actually working in. In this case, it's the body A. So you actually go into the wet paste glaze. Just open that. So then we might have some transparent effects. We take the blue. I told you that we can mix also with the stains. We could also mix the blue now with the gray if you want to, because I personally think the blue is too blue for me. So what I do, I mix it with a little bit of black. So, okay. You see the effect? Can you see that? Or not? Maybe I overdo it a bit, then you see it better. So then we maybe use a bit of orange. And then last not least, I show you the effect of this 2D incisal E2. Just check the ridges. You see that they are lighter now. Here. And here. So we can also take a little bit of, again from the powders, the brown. I told you that you can go right into the pastes with it, with the pigments, but you can also mix it. I mix it now with the body A. And then we use it maybe here. It's here. Okay, so when I'm happy with my finishing, I go and I try to improve the morphology. I will build up here quite an amount of the dentine. The dentine is the only 3D material you can apply up to 2 millimeters. Don't try that ever with the incisals. The incisal won't look nice if you apply them thick. You must stay in very thin layers with the incisals. So. I like to show that because after firing, you will see how nicely the dentines are blending in. So we clap it, and it will adjust. And you see I've built up this whole area. So next thing we do is we build our first layer of gingiva. So here I take the gingiva modifier, which is quite dark, and I put it here. So, and a lighter color in between. But I stay away now in this first bake, I stay away from the margin of the crowns. So, and that bridge I would fire now. So I told you that it's like in a cooking show. I've prepared something, so I take this away. And I show you now what it looks like after the first bake. That's what it looks like after the first bake. You see, hopefully you see the transbar. Here the lighter ridges, the gingiva, and you see here the dentin, and you see how nice it's blending in. I think that's a totally great material. Okay, so that was the first bake. And now I can continue with the other 3Ds. So here I've got an incisal opal bright for nice effects and also for bleach colors. That's the lightest incisal we have in the system. And here I've got the 3D transbar for a bit more structure. And for the second layering of the gingiva, I use actually a mixture of gingiva transbar and gingiva 1. I use the mixture because I want to see still, after the second firing, I want to still see the effects of the first one, the darker ones. So, here we are, mix it. Okay. So let's get started with the 3D incisors. Always use the refreshing liquid. It's like a modeling liquid for the 3Ds. So we take small portions and I put it here on the ridge. And here. Same here. These are small effects, but they do a lot to the aesthetics. Clap it. Then I use some transbar for structure. Okay, and now I put on the second layer of the gingiva. That mustn't be very neat. The gingiva is a life. Then I go all the way around the crowns. Like this. So if you have it like this, you could go and you could dry it a bit, you know, with a hair dryer, just a little bit, till it's not shiny anymore. And then you could go, if you want to, with like a little interdental brush like this, and put in some structure into the gingiva. It's better when it's dried a bit, but it also works like this. So, and then you do the second firing and you're done. So I would say working time without firing time is maybe 10 minutes in total. If you are used to the material and if you, it's all about consistency actually. If you are used to the consistency and how to use the liquids, then you're fine. And it's quick, and it's much more than a staining technique, and that's actually what we wanted to give to all of you, more than a staining material. Now it's like a cooking show again. I've prepared something. So here you can actually see the result. There's nothing done with it. That's what it looks right out of the furnace. With the structure, with the effects, with the ginger. So, and again, welcome, and I would like to see you at our booth, and please don't be shy and try the stuff yourself. We've got crowns, we've got everything. We can tell you, we can show you, whatever. And for me, I have finished now, actually. Thank you for your attention.